Optimizing performance for database instances Part 1. Introduction. The, the Optimizing Performance for Database Instances Part 1 module provides you with the instructions and devices to develop your hands-on skills in the following topics. First, working with TempDB database. Second, working with dynamic management views. And the third is working with memory management. Exam objectives. 4 exam objectives are covered in this lab. First, demonstrate how to optimize the performance of TempDB by configuring it. Second, demonstrate how to set the memory options to optimize memory configurations of the server. Third, demonstrate how to obtain information on weight statistic using dynamic management view. And the fourth is how to monitor and analyze storage issues, I or O issues using DMC. Next. Exercise 1, working with TempDB database. The TempDB is a system database that stores all the type of database objects such as user-defined tables, indexes, global and local temporary tables, and so on. The TempDB database does not allow you to perform certain tasks. Some of them are as follows: back up or restore the database, drop the database, set the database to offline mode, and rename the database. In this exercise, you will learn to work with the TempDB database. Task 1. Configure the TempDB database to optimize the performance. In this task, you will perform the following operations by executing certain system queries in the TempDB database. View the size of the TempDB database in the file growth parameters. Monitor the disk space of the TempDB database using the sys.dm-db-file-space-usage dynamic management view. Determine the amount of the free space in the TempDB database. Determine the list of action transactions and the longest running transaction in the database. Step 1. Ensure you have powered on the required devices and connect the PLAB SQL01. Step 2. From the PLAB SQL01 desktop, click Start and click Microsoft SQL Server Management Studio. The um, The Connect to Server dialog box appears. From the Server Type drop-down list, click Database Engine. In the Server Name text box, type PLAB SQL01 and click Connect. Step 3. The SQL Server Management Studio window opens. In the Object Explorer, click to expand the Databases folder. Step 4. To select the database from the list of the databases, click to expand the System database. Right-click TempDB in from the context menu, click Properties. Step 5. The Database Properties TempDB dialog box appears. In the left pane, under Select a Page, click Option. In the right pane, ensure that the recovery model is set to simple. And click OK to close the dialog box. Step 6. To create a new query from the Query ribbon, click New Query. The new query pane opens. To view the TempDB database size and file growth parameters, type the following query in the new query pane. This is a system query. The query displays the file name, file size, growth value, and growth increment. Step 7. To run the query, click execute or press F5. The query runs successfully and the result set is displayed. Step 8. To create a new query from the query ribbon, click New Query. Type the following query in the new query pane. This is a system query. The query displays the free space and free pages available in TempDB database. The free space is calculated in megabytes. To run the query, click execute or press F5. The query runs successfully and the result set is displayed. Step 9. To create a new query from the query ribbon, click New Query. Type the following query in the new query pane. This is a system query. The query determines the longest running transaction. To run the query, click execute or press F5. The query runs successfully and the result set is displayed. Close all query windows without saving queries. Next, exercise 2, working with dynamic management views. Dynamic management views, or DMVs, provide server state information that helps to monitor the database, diagnose, and troubleshoot problems. The DMVs are present in the sys schema. The DMVs begin with DM dash. In this exercise, you will learn to work with dynamic management views. Task 1. Obtain information on weight statistics. When you troubleshoot the SQL Server performance, you must initially check for weight statistics. The weight statistics includes the concept of keys and weights. In this task, you will perform the following operations to obtain information on weight statistics using sys.dm-os-weight-stats DMV in system queries. Determine the list of weight types with the highest total weight time. Determine the high signal weight and identify the active bot block request. Step 1. In the Object Explorer, under System Database, click Master. To create a new query from the Query ribbon, click New Query. Type the following query in the new query pane. This is a system query executed in the master database. The query displays the wait type details, waiting task count, and so on. Step 2. To run the query, click Execute or press F5. The query runs successfully and the result set is displayed. Step 3. To create a new query from the query ribbon, click New Query. Type the following query in the New Query pane. This is a system query. The query determines the amount of signal wait time from the total wait time. Step 4. To run the query, click Execute or press F5. The query runs successfully and the result set is displayed. Step 5. To create a new query from the query ribbon, click New Query. Type the following query in the New Query pane. This is a system query. In this query, the DMV displays the currently active or blocked waiting task along with the duration, resource, and wait type. There is an inner join created for sys.dm-exec-request DMV on blocking connection session -id. The cross-apply operator is used for sys.dm-exec-sql-test. The query determines the identity of the block and blocking sessions and displays the details. To run the query, click Execute or press F5. The query runs successfully and the result set is displayed. Task 2. Monitor and analyze storage and I/O issues. In this task, you will use the sys.dm-io-virtual-file-stats DMV to monitor and analyze storage and I/O issues in SQL Server databases. You will perform the following operations by executing the system queries. Determine the busiest file in the database. Determine the amount of data traffic in the database. Monitor the page I/O log to check the I/O bottlenecks. You will also generate the performance reports based on the top queries by total I/O activities on the database. Step 1. To create a new query in the master database, from the query ribbon, click New Query. Type the following query in the New Query pane. This is a system query. The data is retrieved from sys.dm-io-virtual-file-stats DMV. This query will help to determine the busiest database in terms of data input and output. The query displays the file statistics for each database file along with the input or output information for reads, writes, and total. To run the query, click Execute or press F5. The query runs successfully, and the result set is displayed. Step 2. To view all the columns in the result set, scroll horizontally from left to right in the result pane. Step 3. To create a new query from the query ribbon, click New Query. Type the following query in the New Query pane. This is a system query. The query determines the amount of data traffic for each file in the selected database. To run the query, click Execute or press F5. The query ran successfully and the result set is displayed. Step 4. To create a new query from the query ribbon, click New Query. Type the following query in the New Query pane. This is a system query. The sys.dm-os-wait-statsdmv is queried. The query displays the lash wait statistics such as wait types, waiting task count, and so on. To run the query, click Execute or press F5. The query ran successfully and the result set is displayed. Close all query windows without saving the queries. Step 5. In the Object Explorer, right-click PLAB SQL01. From the context menu, click Activity Monitor. Step 6. The Activity Monitor pane opens. Click Data File I/O. Notice the details that are displayed. Close the Activity Monitor pane. Step 7. To generate the I/O report in the Object Explorer, right-click PLAB SQL01. From the context menu, click Reports. Standards Report. Performance dash top queries by total top queries by total. Step 8. The report is generated and displayed. Read the review and the report information. This report identifies the queries currently residing in the planned cache that have caused the most total I/O. Over the course of all their executions, this data is aggregated over the lifetime of the plan in the cache and is available only for plans currently in the cache. Close all the panes. Next, Exercise 3, Working with Memory Manager. The Memory Manager component of the SQL Server dynamically determines the allocation of memory for the database. There are many server configuration options to set up the memory usage, such as index create memory, min server memory, max worker size, min memory per query, and so on. In this exercise, you will learn to work with the memory management components of the SQL Server. Task 1. Optimize the memory configuration. In this task, you will determine the current memory allocation by executing system queries. You will set a fixed amount of memory for SQL Server based on the total memory available. You will finally generate a memory consumption report that lists the top memory consuming components in the database. Step 1. In the Object Explorer under System Database, click Master. To create a new query from the Query ribbon, click New Query. Type the following query in the New Query pane. This is a system query. The query determines the current memory allocation in the selected database. To run the query, click Execute or press F5. The query ran successfully and the result set is displayed. Step 2. To create a new query from the Query ribbon, click New Query. Type the following query in the New Query page. This is a system query. The query displays the object names, counter names, and counter values for the respective objects. To run the query, click Execute or press F5. The query ran successfully and the result set is displayed. Close all the query panes without saving the queries. Step 3. In the Object Explorer, right-click PLAB SQL01. From the context menu, click Properties. Step 4. The Server Properties PLAB SQL01 dialog box appears. In the left pane, under Select a Page, click Memory. To set the maximum SQL Server memory as 4 GB in the right pane and maximum server memory in MB box, type 4009. Maximum server. Click OK. Step 5. In the Object Explorer, right-click PLAB SQL01. From the context menu, click Reports, Standards Report, and Memory Consumption. Step 6. The memory consumption report is generated and displayed in the right pane. Step 7. To view the memory usage by component, scroll down the memory consumption result pane. Next, summary. You covered the following activities in this module: working with TempDB database, working with dynamic management views, and working with memory management.